This is a recent judgment in which personal liberty was narrowed down to physical confinement. It involved a county register, the chief state solicitor in one case, and the other case involved various members of the court service, An Garda Síochána, as well as the commissioner of An Garda Síochána and the chief executive officer of the court service. So the Minister of Justice is responsible for these individuals here, as well as these two individuals. Maria Brown represents the Attorney General's office. Bríd Concannon represents a county register in the employment of the court service. And then we have various court service staff. So what we have here is the Department of Justice along with the government in the form of Maria Brown. So Maria Brown has been extending protections to the court service staff. That's not allowed. And she's been using her own office to represent herself in legal proceedings. That's not allowed either. So this case accuses Maria Brown and Bríd Concannon of criminal wrongdoing and personal misconduct. So they have to get their own defence team together, but the government is paying for it. Likewise, these court staff members are accused of obstructing justice, assault, along with the Gardaí, and the Commissioner of An Garda Síochána and the Chief Executive are being held accountable because they're the heads of these statutory bodies, right? But these are being sued in their personal capacity, and the Garda Síochána Commissioner and the CEO of the court services are being sued through their statutory office through a thing called vicarious liability. So even though these people committed criminal acts during their work, their bosses can still be held accountable. But they have to represent themselves or fund their own legal team, which they're not. The court services are funding their legal team. The Commissioner of An Garda Síochána is being protected by the Chief State Solicitor's Office. He cannot engage the Chief State Solicitor's Office for legal defence, and the Chief State Solicitor's Office cannot extend legal defence to the Garda Commissioner. I'm challenging all of this legal representation in the High Court. They cannot say to me, they cannot cite the legislation which allows them to do it, which makes it an illegal spend of state money. Under Article 11 of the Constitution of Ireland, all state money that's spent has to be appropriated by law, which means that there has to be a law written down to allow Maria Brown and her office and the Attorney General to represent anyone outside the government and its direct departments, not heads of body corporates within the departments. These are independent bodies. So if you've got one solicitor representing everyone, there's a huge conflict of interest. But that's what the government is doing. The government is extending its legal arm to protect the workers. The workers don't care then about accountability because they can do whatever they want. They don't have to pay for any legal defence, and they're being treated like body corporates when they're being sued for personal misconduct and criminal wrongdoing. So that's the mechanism of the state, and we have to challenge it. And I don't mind challenging it because these individuals are nothing but cowards. They're traitors, and it's only a matter of time before they end up in court and they'll be criminally prosecuted for what they've done. And that's the minimum you would expect from somebody employed by the state, is to stand up and take responsibility for your actions. You're brought to court. You don't need to be hiding behind body corporates. It's time to stand up and take responsibility for your own actions. These are the people who dragged me out of the central office of the High Court when I was trying to file an affidavit to go before a judge. These court staff wouldn't let me file the affidavit. They wanted €200 off me to file an affidavit when there was no fee on the affidavit. Okay? So they're trying to get money out of me so I could put an affidavit into the central office to bring it before a judge. Because of their conduct, I identified a direct path to the judge. Instead of going through the central office, I learned how we can bring matters directly in front of the judge. So I learned by necessity, and I'm nearly 5 years doing this now, and I'm 2 years up in the High Court. So if there's anyone out there that needs to get matters into the High Court, don't be afraid. These people are cowards. This Brídín Concannon and Maria Brown and Sam and Colin and Kim Duffy, who work for the court services, and the various Garda Sheehan, there was a sergeant, commissioner, these are just cowards, guys. Absolute cowards and traitors, right? They will run, right? They will run with their tail between their legs up for the hills when the heat comes down on them. When I can prove that the Chief State Solicitor cannot represent these individuals. They're nothing but traitorous cowards, right? Now, I can use stronger words than that, but these people are absolutely worthless when it comes to providing protection for the people of Ireland. They're nothing more than traitorous cowards who use the Chief State Solicitor's office as a last form of protection when they commit crimes. But slowly but surely, these are the case numbers, 2024 6852P and 2024 6645P. Slowly but surely, I am dismantling this unlawful framework that's protecting these people. Piece by piece, I'll take it down, and eventually Bríd Concannon and Maria Brown will have to get their persons into the court, either through a legal representation that they're paying for themselves, or they can represent themselves just like I do.